Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, September 27th, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. We have a lot of topics to discuss tonight, and I'm going to try and cover them all, but I'm not going to guarantee it. It has been a crazy tough week. I want to discuss love notes, returns that circumvent the eBay system, a bad seller, another one who refuses to send me my items. I want to talk about a guy who tried to pull a fast one with local pickups, one of the worst eBay buyers, elderly of course, that I've run into in a long time. And if I have time, after I cover all those important topics, I want to discuss this new policy eBay has with giving certain buyers 4 days to pay while our items are still on the shelf. Because I heard something very interesting about this I want to get your opinion on. Let's get started with all the drudgery first. My God, what a tough week this has been. I'm going to start out with the worst thing that happened all week. It happened yesterday, Thursday, around 4:30 p.m. I'll tell you very quickly what happened. We'll cut to a screenshot, cutaway, and then I'll come back and we'll go through the rest of this stuff. This is one of the rare times that I am going to expose a bad buyer's user ID because I feel they're dangerous and unhinged. And I'll bet after I show you the screenshots, none of you will argue with me. Basically, this person bought a lock bolt for their locking wire wheel, and they bought the wrong size. Not exactly a shock, but it happens. Let's take a look at what went down. I would like you guys to pay attention to the screen now as I walk you through this. On Thursday this is California time, 13:39. That's 4:39 p.m. here on the East Coast. This nut, MELAD_7211, wrote this to me. How do I return this for my refund? It does not work for my car. They bought the wrong size lock bolt. Now, as you probably know, I take returns for any reason whatsoever within 30 days. But I'm telling you something, these older people don't know how to use eBay. I've said it once, I'll say it again. So now keep in mind the timestamp. Again, this is very important. 4:39 p.m. I'm thinking to myself, how do I go about writing to this person and explaining to them in a manner that they're going to understand? Because when you get to be older like that, it's very difficult. But before I can even hit a keystroke, okay, you want to see what they did? Look, they left me negative feedback saying, I would like to return it for my refund. It doesn't fit my car. Okay, now, look at the picture they included in the feedback. My name and address, along with their name and address. That's why I am making an exception this time and I'm exposing their user ID because I feel that this person is dangerous and mentally unstable. So I'm not saying you have to block them, but I certainly would if I were you. Now I want to show you something else that reinforces my statement. Let's look at their feedback profile. Here is their feedback profile. You can see they're not a big buyer on eBay. All right, nothing wrong with that. Do you want to see the feedback they've left for others? You ready? It's not what you think. Not a single comment except for my negative. My negative is the only feedback they've ever left. Can you believe it? Okay. So That was one return on Thursday.
Jesus Christ on the cross in Brooklyn. People like that scare me. That is why I'm taking the unprecedented step of giving you guys the person's user ID. I'm going to even say it again. Melad, MELAD _ 7211, operating out of Visalia, California. The person is as old as history. I looked him up. I did a Google search. And I understand that returns are a part of doing business online, whether it be eBay, Amazon, whatever. I get that. I have no issues with that. But I do have issues with people who will not conform to eBay policy when initiating a return. All they had to do was click on return this item. Easy peasy Japanesey, it would have been taken care of. Instead, they contacted me, and within less than 1 minute, they left me unfair negative feedback, exposing my address and their address. All right? Why? Because they're unhinged. That's my personal belief. They're mentally unstable. All they had to do was file for the return. So I still got the return coming. Thankfully, eBay removed that right away. eBay is getting back to the way it used to be with feedback removal with these unhinged scumbag people, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit more about the returns flow. eBay has done an excellent job, in my opinion, with their returns flow. It's very smooth and easy to use, and a child could do it. I would put my life on the line. I could go to the 5th grade class, pull a kid out and say to him, I'm going to buy something on eBay. I want you to figure out how to return it. And I bet the kid could do it because they're adaptable. They fit in. They're willing to learn. But once these older people, man, are so far out, and I know some of you guys are going to say, well, Joe, there you go again, bashing on the old people. No, guys, let's be fair here, okay? Please put yourself in my position. I want you to watch this entire video and digest it. Then think about the previous videos. Something just sold, but I'll probably get canceled on that. All right, let's now talk about geriatric number 2 of the week. So, I get a return. No surprise there, right? I get a return, but let me show you the label. It's not one of these pre-printed eBay labels. It's this. And I folded it in half because I don't want you to see the guy's address. I just want you to see his writing. You can see it's old people writing. All right? So, basically what happened is, this is a mercury alloy wheel center cap. And they come all different diameters, and they have their own part number right on the back, see? Which I always include in the listing. And I even put a picture of the wheel itself, so that the buyer will know that this cap only fits that wheel. And you know how thorough I am. I talk about it every week. Well, what Geriatric Jim did was not only did he go ahead and buy it, even though it wasn't the right wheel, he manually changed the quantity from 1 to 2, which shows intent, wiped me right out of stock. I sent him the hubs right away, and he sends them back with no open return. We've talked about this before, guys. What do you do when you get someone that sends a return back without contacting you? I've got no emails from him, no contacts, no nothing. All right? I want to hear your opinion. This time I'm giving you the floor. What would you do? And if it means anything to you, you probably saw it earlier, but he spent, to return them, $8.20, okay? So I charged, if my memory serves correct, $8.75 shipping. So you're talking he's already out over $16. The caps were not that expensive. I'm guessing around, don't quote me, around $12 each. But anyway, what would you do? Okay, next item. Geriatric John bought 2 motorhome hubcaps. These big dog things. I was happy to get rid of them. $40 plus $35 shipping. He didn't check his wheel size and they're wrong. He wants to return them. Which means he's now going to be spending a total of $70 round trip to get back 40. If that's what he wants to do, fine. I don't have a problem with that. However, once again, there's a breakdown in communication. He did not open a legit return with eBay. He did what that old person with the lock bolt did earlier and just contacted me and said, "These are wrong, I want a refund." And we'll see what's going to happen with him. Moving on to the next one. This is a little different. And this one upsets me too. This is a geriatric seller. And I never, ever would have bought these items had I known. I swear I wouldn't. You know, guys, I'm a man of my word. I started talking about this guy last week. I had some Mercedes-Benz caps I was watching, okay, from a seller. And I wrote down the date and time they were going to end because I don't put them in my watch list because the nag messages are just off the wall. So I sniped them and I won them, and I paid right away as I should. Within 10 minutes, the seller starts the dancing, and he sends me an accusatory email wanting to know how I, cute Joey, came up with the shipping amount. I said, "Buddy, I'm the buyer. I have no say in the shipping. You're the guy that entered it, not me." And he says, "Well, it's not enough money. I want more money." I said, "You ain't getting it. All right?" I said, "I won these items for that price. I want the items." He said, first he started hardlining. He said, "I'm not sending you these. Absolutely not." Then he seemed to change his mind and he said he would send them by Friday, meaning last Friday, not today. I said, "Look, I'll give you till Monday. You have till Monday. I want to see a tracking number uploaded. If not, Tuesday morning, I'm opening a case." He didn't do a thing. Never responded, never sent me anything. He ghosted me, so I opened a case on Tuesday morning. I swear to Christ Jesus, if this guy does not send me those items and eBay has to refund me manually, you know how they automatically close out the case? I will leave him negative feedback and I will focus it on next week's show. As I said in a previous video, I bought 5 things on eBay since the summer, since June till now. 1 went great. 1, the guy sent me broken, damaged goods and told me to go screw myself in Macy's window. And the other 3 never sent me anything. I had to open 3 item not received cases. And at that point, 2 of the people manned up and finally sent me the items. They were as described. I was happy, so I didn't pursue it. This one I will pursue if he stiffs me. All right? Really. I mean, let's play devil's advocate. Make believe I sold you something, $20 plus the shipping, and I made a mistake on the shipping. It's my fault. You guys know me. What do you think I would do? You know damn well I would honor the contract and send you the item, and I would take the shipping loss because I'm a man of my word and I stick behind everything I say, which is why I love to show you guys screenshots and pictures on my phone when necessary. Even though I don't have to, I just want you guys to know what's going on, okay? We're now going to get into love notes. Love notes have been a problem for many years with me. Many, many years when buyers send offers. And you got to be very careful because a lot of times a buyer will send you a reasonable offer and a love note. And if you don't catch that love note, you're screwed. So let me show you love note number one. I had 2 wheel center caps listed for $33. Buyer sends me an offer of $25. That's fair. Okay? Luckily, before I hit accept offer, I saw the love note, which I will read to you and show you. I will pay $29.97 as long as shipping is free. Will that work for you? Naturally, I declined and I blocked him at once. No buyer is allowed to question the shipping in an offer like that. Let's say the shipping's $10. What he's supposed to do is make his offer less. Instead of making it 25, make it 15. All right? That's I wouldn't accept it, but he could do that if he wanted to. Next love note. Boy, oh boy, the balls of some people. Guy sends me an offer on some 1952 Ford hubs, okay? And he writes, here's what he writes. Thank you for the offer. Maybe I'll just come pick them up. You're only an hour and a half away from me. I can't see spending $35 on shipping for an hour and a half drive. I responded, no thanks. I'm withdrawing the offer. No local pickups are accepted. These people are living in some kind of alternate universe, some of them. I don't keep hubcaps from a 1952 Ford at my job, all right? Not too many people coming in looking for something like that. These people think they can buy stuff on eBay dirt cheap and come into my job pell-mell whenever they want and pick these things up. I am not Rick Henderson from Pawn Stars, okay? I am not running a pawn shop. So, he's been blocked. It's been a tough week, guys, I'm telling you. And truthfully, it's usually not like this. Not like this at all. Now, I don't know how many of you guys attended eBay Open the last few days. I attended the kickoff party in New York City. We had a really good time. Good food, good people. I got to do a little presentation myself. I don't know if any of you guys happened to see it. Probably not. But I talked a little bit about eBay Motors, and I generally looked cool. Okay, not really. But yeah. Now, as far as the online event was concerned, that was Wednesday and Thursday. That went out pretty good too. Few little glitches, but nothing to talk about. But I came into some interesting information that I would like to share with you. I'm not going to tell you where I heard this from, but this is conjecture, okay? So treat it as conjecture. As you know, eBay has unveiled a new feature. Whereas if a person sends you an offer, heretofore it would say you will be paid immediately. But sometimes it says, if you accept this offer, your item will remain on the shelf and the buyer has 4 days to pay. Meaning that if this guy stiffs you, your stuff is still available for a legitimate buyer to come in and get, which is interesting. But why do you think they did that? Somebody told me that this feature that I just described is only being applied to buyers with a bad track record of unpaid item strikes. Now let's dissect that comment. Most of you guys, like myself, have our preferences set to block bidders with a certain amount of unpaid item strikes. And I have to imagine that there are a lot of people that are being blocked, okay? Now think about it. If this is true, and I'm only saying if, eBay is opening the doors up to these deadbeats and giving them up to 4 days to pay, knowing that they already have a track record of not paying, which is why they're not taking the item off the shelf. They're saying, this guy's probably not going to pay, so we're going to leave it on the shelf in case a legit person wants to come in and make the purchase. But what bothers me about this, if it's true, is that if the person does not pay, they do not get an unpaid item strike. Again, this is something I heard at the conference. I ain't telling you who told me. It's not important because I can't substantiate it. And I don't think the person wants their name out there anyway. But have any of you guys thought about that or heard about that? If so, I want to hear your opinion. Comment below, please. All right. I know I've kept you guys a little long because I'm in one of my ranting moods. But I don't want you guys to get the idea, or the wrong idea rather. Most of you guys have known me many years. And while I tend to be a bit of an Italian hothead, I consider myself strict but fair. I go by the book. eBay makes sellers adhere to rigid policies. For instance, shipping the next day, not having stockouts, things like that. And that, to me, is fine. It's the cost of doing business, all right? It's the way you should run your store. eBay also has rules for buyers when it comes to returns, all right? I don't mind accepting returns for 30 days. I don't like it, but it's basically the way of the world, so I have to conform. But I do get highly upset about these people that are not conforming and that are circumventing the system and leaving unfair negative feedback. And I have proved to you once again that every single one was a geriatric. I realize most of you guys don't go through this because you sell in maybe sports cards or sneakers where the people are a little different and less of a headache. But I'm in eBay Motors, so I have to go with what I've been assigned, okay? So I just want you to understand, guys, I'm putting this information out there because I want you to understand the total scene. I'm not just going to come out here and brag, hey, I made good money today. Or I'm not just going to come out here and complain about how everybody is a scammer, because they're not. But I do believe both buyers and sellers should conform. I'm not just after bad buyers. I got a bad seller right now that's giving me a rough time. I told you about him. And I'll tell you more about him next week right here on the Crazy New York Driver Show. Because I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Please comment on any of the topics I've discussed tonight. I hope you make a lot of money on eBay this week. Rock on and peace. And one more takeaway from this video, like I said early on, eBay is being a lot more reasonable with removing unfair negative feedback. Thank God they removed that one. That one really ticked me off big time. All right? Think about that. I mean, I know I said the video was over, but I just can't control myself. This idiot buys the wrong item, admits they bought the wrong item, leaves me negative feedback with my address and their address in it. If that person isn't unstable, my name is not Cute Joey. Rock on.